Hi everyone, this is Revolution Ricky here in my house and in my office at Casa de Revolution, here to do another unboxing, or should I say an unwrapping video. I just got that bad boy delivered from Amazon and I'm going to open it up and show you all what I got. But before I do, if you would please hit like and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Well, without further ado, let's open this bad boy up. I already know what it is. I've been kind of weaning off the Sun Records Elvis stuff for a while because the record store hasn't had any, and I pretty much got what I want. Not that to say I'm not going to stop collecting that. I am going to continue. It's just that I'm going to start on this band. It's one of my two favorite hard rock bands that came out of the 60s or 70s, whichever era you listen to. There was two bands I listened to, but I only had greatest hits compilations. One of those bands was Black Sabbath. Now, this ain't going to be a Black Sabbath video by any means, but it is going to be dedicated to the one that were the pioneers of hard rock music. But they were heavily influenced by the blues and heavily influenced by Robert Johnson a little bit. And no, it's not Cream. And no, it's not Jimi Hendrix, even though I love Jimi Hendrix and I love Cream and Eric Clapton. But it ranks up there. So, without further ado, let's open this bad boy up. Like I said, I already know what it is. Like I said, I'm taking a break from the Sun Records stuff and working on this band. And here we go. I'll show you the first album, and then I'll show you the second album. Oh, not the second album. This second CD that I got. Oh, I love this. And I think you'll love it too. I don't think I have to say much. Led Zeppelin. I love this album because it's a very raw album. It's their first. I love how they would just... Jimmy Page would go from being in the Yardbirds to being in this. And it is a great album. It's not Led Zeppelin 2, but this is more raw, energetic. And Led Zeppelin 2 is more of the bluesy type music that defined that era. I've always loved it. I love the song Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, which years ago on MTV Unplugged, the band Great White did a rendition of that song, and it sounds great. I like that song, and in fact, it got me to listen to the Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You on the vinyl version of that record that I have. This is the 2 CD set with songs like Good Times, Bad Times, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Dazed and Confused is a good track. Communication Breakdown is kind of reminds me of a little bit of the wrestler Ultimate Warrior's theme, because it kind of sounds like that, just a tad bit. It's just turned up to the volume a little bit with more of the guitar. I Can't Quit You Baby and How Many More Times. Before they were called Led Zeppelin, they were called the New Yardbirds because Jimmy Page wanted to continue and the Yardbirds didn't want to continue. They were burnt out. So Jimmy Page decided to form a new band. And at first it was going to be called the New Yardbirds, but they changed their name to Led Zeppelin. And I love Led Zeppelin. My sister's a big Led Zeppelin fan. I mean, more than I am, but I do love them. I mean, I think the concert film, um, oh boy, the concert film, The Song Remains the Same, is probably catches them just rocking and rolling. I mean, every day I would rent that from the video store every day. Not every day, but maybe once every month or so to watch it because I really loved it. And a few years later, I got it as a Christmas gift from a friend of mine. But I really love the way all these songs sound, especially the first album because it's more raw. It's not as polished as the second or third album, but I do love this album. And you can't go wrong with Led Zeppelin. The second album that I got, which is not the second album, but it's one of my favorites. It's not a Led Zeppelin album that you hear more of, but it's one of my favorite albums because it's not Led Zeppelin 4, it's not Houses of the Holy, it's not The Song Remains the Same or Physical Graffiti or anything like that. This album is, or not Led Zeppelin 1 or 2, but this album is, for me personally, ranks up there. And it's, I wish I had that thing in the photo. Presence. I love this album. I think it was the second Led Zeppelin album I ever bought on cassette from Columbia House. I had just was trying to gather up all the Led Zeppelin albums, and I saw that it was on sale for a cheap price. And I was like, well, it's only got 7 songs. Why not? And Led Zeppelin's songs are pretty much, they are long. So, some of them are like 11 minutes long, like, oh boy, what was it? Like maybe Kashmir or Dazed and Confused. I really not know the length of them. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, and I have been wrong. But I always like Achilles' Last Stand and For Your Life. Nobody's Fault But Mine is a good track. T for One is a good track. I kind of got that one mixed up with Dazed and Confused because it was slow. But I always loved this album by itself. And a couple of years, I think last year or the year before, while I was on the mend, I got it for my birthday. For my birthday one year. My wife I went to the record store and picked up a Russian copy of Presence, and that cover was just like, looked like it was so thin, it would look like came off from a Xerox machine. But it still plays, and it still plays great. But for me, I really love the album Presence. I think that it's a good album. It's not their Physical Graffiti or Led Zeppelin 1 that I just showed you, Led Zeppelin 2 or 3 or 4, or, The Song Remains the Same, or Coda, which is another story. When I do my scavenger hunt, I'm going to show y'all something. It's not Coda, but for me it ranks up there because it's not your typical Led Zeppelin album that fans would listen to. But I've always wanted this little object. And I think 10 or 12 years ago, they released the object as a promotional item to celebrate the album's anniversary. And I always wanted it. I think collectors would love it. I think they sent it to radio stations or record stores as a, a tie-in for the re-release to the 2-disc or the whatever version. But it's what I would consider a great album, and I'm going to take these and listen to them and hopefully save the hype sticker, because it does have one. But with Led Zeppelin, you can't go wrong, and these two albums are, this one, I don't know which one to choose that I like the best. I think they're kind of equal, but I love Led Zeppelin, and they never made a bad album. I mean, maybe Coda, but even that's pretty good. But, you know, I wanted to come on here and show you all what I got from Amazon, and hopefully I'll get more of these albums, because I do like Led Zepp. Think that Led Zeppelin, you know, the band, you know, everybody's saying the band should reunite and play. I don't know. I don't think the band really has to, and that's my opinion. You all have different opinions. I mean, I guess it would be okay to see him live. I never get to see him live, because back in the 70s, I was like going through my single digit preteen years. And, you know, I guess it would have been nice to see it. I probably would have loved to have seen them during that concert film at Madison Square Garden of The Song Remains the Same. And I think it would have been so good. And Led Zepp has influenced so many bands, and they were influenced by the blues. If you listen to any song that Led Zeppelin did with a blues type feel to it, you would hear stuff like Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, of course. Jimmy Page loves Robert Johnson. You would hear all sorts of blues like Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, B.B. King. Oh boy, well, who else? Howlin' Wolf. You would hear the blues influence of any song that Led Zeppelin put out, like Dazed and Confused. Since I've Been Loving You, I Can't Quit You Baby is another one. Dazed and, like I said, Dazed and Confused. And you would hear all sorts of music. I do love the band, and hopefully I'll get more. I'll try to get more albums like this, so I can keep it up. And maybe one day I'll do a Led Zeppelin retrospect collection video. But until, but I'm a completist, and the reason I haven't done any more videos of bands that I have is because, have listened to, is because I don't have them all. I don't have all the Rolling Stone albums. I don't have, I pretty much have all the Motley Crue albums and all the Metallica albums, which I can find, but I only got like the first 5 Metallica albums. And the only one I'm missing from the 80s from Motley Crue is Girls, Girls, Girls on vinyl, which I'll probably get eventually. But anyway, I wanted to come on here and show you all what I got. I had the single disc CD somewhere, but I can never find it. But now that I got the 2-disc, I'm going to listen to the other tracks on here. Well, anyway, that's about does it for me. I'm going to get off here and go listen to these. This is Revolution Ricky signing off. Keep spinning that vinyl and the CDs. And I shall see you all again in the next video. Peace.